Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is episode 13 of our Timberborn playthrough, so let's go ahead and get into it. In episode 12, we worked on a couple projects. We cleared out this area and got it ready for farming, and then moving up to our industrial district, we also began to channel off the water to eventually get our water project up and running. So, in between episodes, I was checking out some of the comments. I apologize for not having responded to all of them, but we got an awesome name suggestion for our industrial town from Ashermort. So this will be Wheelington, which I think is great because of all the power wheels. So Wheelington, excellent. I saw some other great comments for names. Don't worry, those we'll try and use them all as we get forward. We still have two coming up, Damville and Lumbertown, from earlier in the series, so we will get back to those. But all right, so what are we going to be doing today? I've got a couple projects in mind. I want to get this farming space up and running. I also want to keep working on our power project, or our water project, and then there's going to be quite a bit of dynamiting going on, so let's go ahead and get into it. Before we do though, I noticed that these require power, which I had no idea, and we actually have a contaminated beaver. Let's see, can we find him? I don't know where he's at, but he's contaminated by groundwater. His well-being is terrible. And he might even be refusing to work. I can't remember. But anyway, so let's get these placed in a different area. So we're just gonna go ahead and do that. They can pick up these resources. Not sure what is in these: extract gears, metal blocks, planks. Yeah, we'll have to see if there's a place where they can get those. But I think what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of relocate them, like right over here. So what we're going to need is we're going to need a corner power piece in there. We'll just go ahead and speed this up. And then I think we're just going to kind of put them right in here. And we'll just say that this is kind of our cutoff for what's going to be used for industrial space. And we'll continue the factories out this way. That's my guess. Although we're also going to need to relocate these water pumps, but that's kind of a future problem. But anyway, so once we get that in, if we go into our well-being and we get the contamination pod, it's a 2x1. So I'm thinking we could put a couple of them here, and then we've got a nice space here for something, maybe like a builder's hut or a hauling post. But we could get 3 in here. So why don't we get, not that one. Why don't we get 2 of those built, and then we can get this power shaft in here, which we want done right off the bat. And they may have, yeah, these are all planks, so we'll just go ahead and get rid of these because we don't have any storage for them. But all right, so once he gets that power done, we can go ahead and put this one in, and then we should be able to get, actually no, we don't want that. We want another decontamination pod right there. And then we'll need a path right here, which means we can actually go ahead and get rid of this one. And then we have an interesting space right here. I'm not sure what we're going to put in there. But we've got a couple little interesting spaces here. In fact, we could actually probably go ahead and put, I don't know, maybe one of these braziers. That would be kind of cool. We haven't used one of those yet, but that would be cool. And that's just planks and metal blocks. We have no metal blocks. Which is actually going to hold these up. So what I'm actually going to do, let's delete this one, get them to pick these up, and then hopefully we'll have enough metal blocks to get this built. Maybe, yeah, we should have one more. There we go. And then there's no plank storage, so we'll get rid of those, and then we will template out the other 2 decontamination pods. Okay. So getting into what we're going to work on today, we are going to start working on our farming space that we got cleared up. And there's been quite a bit of dynamite laid, so let's go ahead and start to detonate some of this out. Just to kind of clear up this waterway. So let's get all of this dynamited out. We're getting a little flooding. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. And there we go. All right. So these guys are just, they're working on, what is this district working on? They're working on some you know, some cosmetic stuff, but nothing major right now. So they should come over here and get this built. Oh, maybe it's because they're working on this dynamite, but I want them to focus over here. Anyway, I just noticed I'm just going to take a brief hiatus here, and I'm going to get these roofs built. So let's delete those paths. That way I can put some stairs in here. And they should build all this, because I don't really think that they're working on anything else, but let's do that. All right, so we'll continue to dynamite this out, and then let's dynamite out our channel. And this will immediately fill with water, giving us a ton more plantable area, which is great. And we're gonna get a little overflow, that's okay. Not the end of the world. And then we can continue to dynamite this away, which is great. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fill this whole thing with triple platforms. And we're going to build our farming stuff on top of there, which I think will be good. Okay, so what do we want on here for farming? I think that we're going to want probably... Do I want large warehouses or medium? I kind of want medium because I want the path to be on here as well. So why don't we do a couple warehouses down here. And then I think we'll probably put the same type of setup down here as well. And I might actually move these just a little bit. Like that. And I really hope that we don't continue to get this huge fluctuation in the water level. I feel like that would be kind of annoying if we did. We'll just have to keep an eye on it. There's nothing that we can really do about it. But then we're going to get our normal farmhouse setup over here. And I saw in the comments, some people are saying that I'm using way too many beavers for farming. You're probably right. Probably. I don't mind though. It's just kind of the way that it's like the way that I play, you know. It's just I have a certain tendency with how I play, and I like to play this way. So, but I fully acknowledge that you are almost completely right in the idea that I am using too many farmhouses, which is, you know, it's okay. It is okay. I think I'm gonna shift this down one. So let's shift it down to here. And then get our farmhouses in. And we will, again, put some stairs coming down. And then some stairs coming down here. And then we'll connect this up with a path. So that should all be connected now. And let's see. So these are going to be focused on cassava. And then the middle one will always be focused on harvesting. So let's just get all of these set up. There we go. All right. And then we need to assign the storage under here. So these will be for raw cassava. And they're also going to be set to supply. So again, if there are any haulers that are available to work, they will come down here and just kind of clear out the cassava and get it transported up to other areas that are closer to the fermenters themselves. Okay, so while these beavers work on this, let's start working on our next project. So if we come all the way back up here, we are going to continue to work on our water project. And you can see that they got almost all this stuff built in the period in between this last couple episodes. So we're going to need some stairs going up here. And then I want to get rid of all of these trees. So we're going to get rid of all of these. Might as well get rid of these. Although actually I think I can just get rid of these with a path. So let's see if we can do that. Yes, we can. All right. So let's get rid of those. Just like that. And then what I think we're going to do is we're going to have this be the height of our tallest levee. So I believe that means that we're going to have to go up one more again to get this done. But I would like for all of this to get removed first. So let's get all these trees and stuff removed. Might need a path coming over here to allow them to do that, but that's okay. Then we are going to have to start laying some dynamite here to get this whole area cleared out. So let's start doing that. So we're going to need dynamite to get this area cleared out. And let's see how we're doing on our population real quick. I'm just kind of curious. I need to continue to increase the haulers over here. They're doing pretty good for food though. So we have 25 vacancies over here. 20 of those are haulers. And then we can also go ahead. These roofs have now been built, so we can get rid of this. Put this path back in, and then I think we can get rid of these just because they're not, there's not a lot of storage for them. But okay, so while this gets built, we are going to need a pretty significant amount of dynamite in here. So this is going to be all triple. Is it? Let's see, what if we do like triple to there? That should work. And then this will just be, I want this to be singles or doubles? Yeah, I think singles would be fine. Because it'll still have a height of two tiles of height for the water, because there will be one level of levee on top of it. But that should be good. That should work. And then this will allow our water to just immediately flow into this channel. I think that will work very well. Okay. We're also doing great on explosives, so we should be just fine. And let's get this, now that they've removed all the trees, let's get all of this mapped out. And they should be able to reach it all with those paths. So we will come back to that in a little bit, but we're going to come back down here and we're going to take a look at how they're doing. All right, so we got a lot of this dynamite laid, which is great. So we can continue to dynamite this away, and this will just give us more water storage in this area, which is always a good thing. So let's get that in there. Might as well prioritize that. And then I think we could actually probably get rid of this and start to dynamite that back as well. This should still be reachable. Yeah. And then I'd also love that dynamite to get placed. But okay, so they're starting to work on this. We do need still to dynamite this away. So I guess we could start to work on that. Just kind of add it to their list. And I think, yeah, this is going to be triples. Triple dynamite up here, which will be good. And then I'm not totally sure what we're going to do with this area down here. I mean, I guess it could just be more storage. The only problem with that, though, is that this is kind of their access over to this side, other than this set of stairs right here. So we might want to see, let's just kind of check our range here. And they actually can't reach all the way in there, which is a little disappointing, but that's okay. Not the end of the world. We can do something over here. Not sure what, but we could do something. We could put in like a series of platforms, considering they can't reach there anyway. And then we could do maybe like a, no, they've already got scratchers down there. Let's see what we want to do here. Maybe couple of these with a bell and then some shrubs. Yeah, I like that. That looks good. Probably like a complete waste of resources, but that's generally how I play this game anyway, so. All right, 9 vacancies here. How many up here? 23. Yeah, so we're getting there. We got a lot of haulers going, which is great, and our water is increasing. All right, so let's come back up here, see how they're doing. Kind of slow going with the beavers these days. I wonder, yeah, they're building these levees first, and that's okay. This is kind of a long going project. But all right, so what I think we're gonna do is we're gonna go into a quick time lapse and let these beavers keep building what they're building. So I'll see you guys in a minute. All right, and we're back. So we just have a drought incoming, so I wanted to go ahead and make sure that we were all squared away on our water. And we are, which is excellent. And then while I was kind of thinking about it, I just kind of thought about just kind of changing this up just a little bit before they get to building it. So what we're gonna do, let's get rid of a couple of these paths and some stairs, because I need to give them a path to actually access the storage. So we're gonna need some paths like that, and then we're actually gonna need to extend these platforms out just a little bit. Bring this down, and then I think we'll just bring a path across, and then we can kind of fill in some of this space over here. Might as well give them a couple things that are kind of nice. Let's put a bell. I like a bell right there. And then obviously a couple shrubs, and then maybe a couple of the beaver busts, because we just love the beaver busts, you know? And then we're gonna need some paths coming across here. That, perfect. And then let's get this area marked out so that once these get built, they can actually start to plant the cassava. Go ahead and blow up some of this dynamite here. Let them come back over here and get that laid. And then what are we gonna do with this path? I don't think this path serves a purpose any longer, so we'll go ahead and get rid of that. We will leave this path. But I actually want to give them an entrance right here. So let's go ahead and remove this. We'll run a path down here like this, and then we'll actually just run our stairs down. Like that. And the question is, can they still reach this whole area? Yes, they can. So that should be fine. And then we will need a path here, connecting that up. Everything is pathed up. Now the question is, can I start to remove this path? Yeah, I think so. So why don't we get rid of this path? And then we could probably get rid of this path as well. Like that. And then this path I will leave in just because it's going to be how they're going to access this location over here. But that should be good. Yeah, and what I might actually do, I might just extend this just a little bit and run this path down like that. And just go ahead and get rid of that. That way we can go ahead and mark this whole area for cassava. Like this. And then we could actually go ahead, we could get rid of this series of paths. Mark this for cassava. And then why don't we just go ahead and mark all of this, because these farmhouses should be able to reach, yeah, all the way over here. Okay. So let's get this whole area marked for cassava, and that should be good. All right, so let's go up and check on the water, how they're doing with all this dynamite, and they are doing really good. So let's go ahead and clear this out and continue to work on our dynamiting project. There we go. So this is now a nice clean channel. And I think what we'll do, let's get this dynamite placed. And then, let's see, are we gonna want another set of stairs up? Yes, we are. But I think we need to get this dynamite placed first. So this is gonna be triples. So let's get that laid. They should come over here and get that built pretty quickly. And I do just want to rebalance our population a little bit. So we actually have 2 vacant jobs down here, which is okay because these farmers are about to get up and running. Considering we are in a drought though, and we don't have, unfortunately, our battery system up and running yet, I am going to pause these and I'm going to open up the power production here. This will make 300. I don't know how much they require. What are these? These are each... Yeah, it doesn't say because they're not operational. I want to say that they're each like 50 or something like that. I don't fully remember. And we missed an opportunity because we were in the time lapse to store some water up here, but that's, you know, that's okay. We have a fair amount of water. Not the most we've ever had, but it's a fair amount of water. But okay, so the beavers are working on this. They are also working on this. Let's see, are we getting the dynamite placed? We are. Let's go ahead and can dynamite those away. This should get built. I was kind of hoping it would get built right away, but they're going to send up another builder. So let's get this blown. And then we can start to lay out our dam extension. So let's get some stairs in there. Let's go ahead and block this off with levees. And then we also need to block this off with levees. And then we also need to start to think about, I don't want dams here, because I want this to match up nicely. So what we're going to do is this is going to be, I guess we'll just do, I'm going to want singles here and then I guess doubles here. I don't need to dynamite this out, but I want it to look nice with a nice continuation of the levee, which actually makes me think that I need to get rid of this. Totally not necessary. I also probably shouldn't have gotten rid of these stairs, but that's okay. So let's get some dynamite in there, and let's prioritize this section so that they can start working on this as well. And let's just see how we're doing with our population. So population is rapidly rising. I'm not sure, I may have done this off camera, but I actually added in a series of reproductive tanks here to really catapult the population. Hopefully we're not going to completely overshoot it, but we should be okay. One thing that probably would be nice is another hauling post. I don't think that I can fit one in anywhere down here, even if I were to get rid of this stuff. I mean, I guess I could technically fit it there, but then that doesn't really mesh with what I'm trying to do down here. But that's okay. We can just continue to kind of balance the population, and we can slow it down if we need to, if we get overextended. That being said, we do have 40 vacancies here for housing, so that's pretty significant. How are we doing with our water? Doing okay. Might want to let a little bit out. So let's just let out a little bit of water, wait for this to kind of overflow a little bit, get this topped back off, and then we should be good to go. So we'll just let a little bit more in, and yeah, I think that's good for now. And again, if it tops off down into here, that's not the end of the world. And it actually looks like these can reach down here a little bit, which is pretty interesting. All right, so the beavers are still churning away down here. I would like them to get this dynamite laid, even though it is totally not a huge priority, but that's okay. So what I think we'll do is let's take the opportunity of the increased population to really make sure that we are maxed out on all of our district crossings here. So let's go 10 and 10. Excuse me, in all of those. We're doing okay on the mushrooms. Oh, this is a good opportunity. Yeah, so they actually 1,400 power. Oh, it's because of these. We forgot to pause those. All right, so let's see, what are they at now? Yeah, see, it doesn't say because we're past the working day, but I think everything should be paused up here now. Oh, and this, which takes probably a lot of power. Definitely gonna want to get a battery system up and running. That would be good. But then let's go ahead and get that levee in there, just so that it looks nice, and then let's get some stairs going up there. Let's get that built. That way they can work on both of these sections, and then we should be good to go for when the water arrives. I imagine we should be able to get this built. So let's see. These are the priorities to get built. The dynamiting, that can kind of wait, and then the rest of it can also kind of wait. But okay, so we're doing fine on water. It is actually, I believe it's trending down because we don't have these producing water. And that kind of reminds me that we're gonna come up here and we're actually gonna set up more water pumping. So why don't we get, what's that, 3? Why don't we get 4 up here? And I would actually kind of love it if these would line up. So let's get 4. Deep water pumps. So we can get 4 in there. And then why don't we put in like some decoration here? We could put like a bell and a shrub. That's nice. That will be a good combo. And then we can probably actually remove these because they're, once the power wheels extend in here, these are not going to have access to a ton of water unless we start getting overflow, which is definitely a possibility. And this beaver should be, I feel like he's our only beaver that's contaminated. So I don't really know. Avast, yeah, recover from bad water exposure. So I don't know. Hopefully he's getting less contaminated. I'm not sure. But I would like to get rid of these, and then I'm not sure what we could do here. We could add in some more kind of, builders, hauling posts, that type of stuff in here. We can figure it out. It'll be a nice use of space. And then we still got plenty of space for our industrial stuff. And then I think what we'll do, let's put a medium high priority on this so that they'll come build this water pumping area after that. All right, so the entire platform is now done. So why don't we put a high priority on this section, and then a medium priority on all of this, and then they can work on the dynamite, which will be good. All right, so just about a day left. We are about to run out of water, so let's open this up and get a ton of water back down here. We'll basically max it back out, and then we should be good to go once this drought ends and we move into the next section. I would really like to get this done before this drought ends, but again, it's not, it's not the end of the world because it is going to be fresh water. It'll just kind of overflow a little bit. This isn't done yet, so yeah, there's, they're working on it, but at least it's not like what we did that one time where we got a huge chunk of bad water actually stuck, which was not the best. But okay, we should be doing well now. So we got cassava storage. We do have 9 unemployed beavers, which are all going to come work down here, which should be good. I am slightly concerned that our population might be increasing just a little bit too much. So why don't we go into our population management? I'm going to send 10 beavers up here to to Wheelington from Worlberg to our industrial district. And that should be good. And then I think we might want to start to think about slowing down the water production a little bit. But okay, so this has been sealed off, which is good. And then hopefully these beavers start to transition over here to actually get this water pumping station built, which would be really good. How are we doing for haulers up here? Not bad, not bad. Are these prioritized? Yes, they are. Okay. So we're going to get some water production going up here. Might be good to get some water storage up here. I am starting to get a little bit concerned about the water. Just because we have 10 here and they're not managing to get it to trend upwards. So hopefully when we get the 4 additional in here, we should be in a better spot. I might honestly add 2 more, which is probably not super necessary, but we'll probably do it anyway. Oh, and this poor beaver, he's hungry and thirsty. I think we're getting a little stretched out in terms of distance from our, our workable area, but that's okay. All right, so the beavers are working really well down here. How are we doing on food? Food is looking fine. The cassavas are, they're kind of doing their thing. And the water is coming down now. A lot of it is spilling off the side. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. But I would like to get more of it coming down here. We are producing enough power, so let's go ahead and pause this. We now have 4 vacancies, which is actually fine because these are starting to get up and running. And that should help us recover quite a bit. We've got plenty of power coming down, which is good. And now this whole thing is going to kind of start to flood a little bit, which is not the end of the world. A little bit of flooding fresh water is fine. If it were flooding bad water, I would be more concerned. Then again, there's really not much I could do about it, if we're being honest, but that's okay. And the bad water has returned. And the farms are coming along. We just need them to build these platforms. And most of them actually have the resources that they need. They just need to actually get built so that those farmers can jump into action and then we'll be good to go. So why don't we continue to kind of dynamite out some of this space? So I think we'll go ahead, we'll throw some stairs down here and then maybe some stairs down here. I feel like they might need them to be able to reach. And then let's go ahead, we'll put in some double dynamite here and then some singles down here, and they should be able to reach that. And then we'll have a nice, pretty significant storage of water down here. And let's go ahead. I want these maximum priority and prioritized by haulers. Which would be good. We're working on this, which is good. And I think things are going pretty well. So what I think we're going to do, we will go into another quick time lapse and let these beavers continue to get to work. All right, see you guys in a few. All right, and we're back. So the farming is fully up and running, which is awesome. And we actually still have 3 vacant beavers over here, or vacant jobs. So hopefully that will help increase our cassava, our raw cassava production. Because you can see that we're fermenting it as fast as possible. Same thing with the mushrooms, but you know, the mushrooms they're kind of like a supplement food. You know what I mean? The kohlrabi and the cassava are the staples of the diet. The water is also increasing quite well, which is excellent. So let's go ahead. Let's get these dynamited out again. Not super necessary, but I kind of like it. I think it will look nice. And then let's go ahead and get rid of this path, and then we can go ahead and put in our next set of levees, and then we're going to need to go up right here, it looks like, to make sure that this stays nice and uniform. And we'll have a path running all the way down here. And hopefully that will mean that the beavers can actually start building this area, which will be good. So let's get that mapped out now. So this is going to be, let's make sure we're going to the right level. We are. So let's get this all laid out. Is that high enough? No, it is not. So let's go 1 higher. Like that. And then this, similarly, is going to work its way across. Like that. And then this section can actually go. So let's get rid of that. And then it looks like one section over here can also go. But let's get to that. So we'll levee up here. Like that. Perfect. And then this section can go. And this is what I want them to work on building. And that will take quite a while, but that will allow us to have complete control of the water. And then my plan is to actually dynamite out this entire space to create our new water storage area. And then water should literally never again be a concern for us. It's going to take a tremendous amount of work, and it's going to take so long for them to do. I don't even think it's like a time-lapsable thing. I think it's like we kind of start to do it on an episode, and then I finish it over the span of like a day of playing this game. Because I genuinely do not think that we will have the time for it. But I do want to let's get a couple of these back opened up. Let's get the explosives opened back up. Yeah, probably. So we're going to need a lot of explosives. And then I would like to get some metal going. So what I think I'm going to do, I know that this is extremely far from our district, but let's go ahead and get a couple of these metal production facilities up and running. And then I might throw like a large pile right here. So let's get that built, and this will store scrap metal. And I will have this yeah, I don't really know. It's gonna take so long for the scrap metal to actually get over here. I wonder if it would almost be better if this came from this district and not this one. You know what I mean? So like if we did something like this and actually connected it to this district instead. If we did that, that actually might be a better idea, because then it's closer, and then the scrap metal doesn't have to go through the district crossing. It just has to go right into this district. That actually might be better. Yeah, I think it would. So let's get all of that built. And it'll actually probably be a lot closer too. Yeah, because that's still yellow here. This is already red. So that would actually make a lot more sense, but we'll still continue to get it built, and then we'll get the scrap metal up and running. And that'll be good. Okay, cool. So they're coming down here to work on this dynamite, and I noticed that we just continued to have overflows in here, and it was kind of annoying, but I think it'll be okay. Hopefully we start to get more raw cassava stockpiled. That would be good. We're having a lot of beavers are hungry, but you know, that's okay. So the next thing that I want these guys to start working on, so we've got stairs coming down here, right? So I think what we're going to start to work on is dynamiting out this whole space. We may need like a path coming in here in order to actually do that. But let's start with the dynamiting here, and unfortunately that prevents these from actually functioning all the way. So I just want to make sure, yeah. So that was all built. Technically they're still working on that, but what I want them to work on, I want to get that series dynamite laid. I guess I'll just drop those down to like a medium high priority along with that. And this, it's kind of not super important, but when we do have the resources available, I would love it if they would work on it. Are these close enough for them to build? Yes, they all are, which is good. So hopefully the beavers come down here and build those, because that did cut off half of the water production in this district, but I do want to get those up and running. Luckily, we've got a ton of water being produced up here, which is good. So I think we'll kind of see how the water goes, and I might decommission these at some point. They will be decommissioned for sure eventually, but not right now. Okay, and is this filling up with scrap metal? Not really. Kind of looks like the district haulers are coming over here to actually get that cleared out, so. All right, do we have any of this dynamite done? We have a couple, so let's get those done so then these can start pumping again. We'll get those removed. So now we have 3 operational, and eventually I would love to get this whole section dynamited down to the 3 layers, but we'll start with this section for now, and then we might actually come over and do this before we do this, just so that these water pumpers have access to it. So how would we actually get down here? Well, one thing that we could do is we could start to cut off some of these areas. So let's see, they should be able to reach all of these, but we are going to need some stairs coming down here for them to be able to dynamite this area. So, okay, they can work on that. Do I want to make this a priority? No, probably. I feel like this is the current priority, specifically this row. Just so that we can get that all to a nice level, which would be good. And let's see, the beavers are working up here. Have they gotten this done yet? Not quite. Just need some planks, which should come along fairly easily. And let's see, we now have tons of beavers. We do need to transfer some, so let's send 10 from Whirlburg up to Wheelington. They are about to run out of housing. Whirlburg is completely out of housing, which is not great, actually. Whirlburg needs a ton of housing, 54 houses. And I'm kind of interested where I'm going to put those. Maybe I'll build like a small housing complex here, because I really don't think I can fit any more housing over here. Easily, anyway. Just trying to kind of gauge the area. Yeah, I feel like right over here would be a pretty nice place for it, but they got other stuff to work on right now. So let's go ahead and dynamite those out. And now let's kind of reprioritize. So honestly, just for cleanliness of this this waterway, let's go ahead and get all of this built. All of that dynamite done. And then maybe we'll transition over here. Now, I feel like water is more pressing right now. I feel like the food is going to be okay now that we have all this farming up and running. And we should have the haulers necessary to actually move it. But we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see if the cassava generally trends upward. That's more what I'm concerned about. I always want the fermenters to have available cassava to work with. If that kind of makes sense. That's kind of what I'm going for with that. But okay, I really want to get this. Yes, okay, so this is established now. So what we're going to do is we're going to sever that connection and make that connection. And this will supply the other areas. So now if we come up here, 22 vacancies. So that's all of our haulers and then some of our builders. But we are starting to get some vacancies down here, so let's send them 10 more. That should be good. That should get them at least a few haulers. And then I think we really need to back off on our population a little bit. So let's just pause like maybe these 8, and that will leave 3 plus 6 is 9 plus 3 is 12. That will leave 12 operational, which should be pretty good. I just don't want this to get completely out of hand in terms of our population, just because, you know, population is kind of it's kind of finicky anyway, especially with the who are these? The Iron Teeth. Because with the nice thing about the folktales is that the population essentially tracks with your housing. You know what I mean? So when you want to increase the population, you build more housing, and then the beavers just kind of naturally reproduce if their well-being is high enough and if there's housing available. With the Iron Teeth, it's a lot more. You are much more in control of the population, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. You can very rapidly increase your population, but simultaneously, you can also cause a lot of problems if you just let it grow, you know, unchecked for a huge period of time. That can really turn into an issue if you're not careful. So definitely got to keep an eye on it. But guys, I think this is going to bring us to the end of this episode. If you guys enjoyed it, definitely consider liking and subscribing this video, or liking and commenting on the video and subscribing to the channel so you can stay up to date on this series as well as others. And I will see you guys in the next video. So have a great day. Thanks.